So, the Carolina Panthers are one game out of first place in the NFC South, and with a chance to make the playoffs on the line here in the next 4 weeks, they have a critical matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers that may tilt the season into a totally different direction. And today, we'll talk about it. You're listening to Money in the Bank. The Carolina Panthers have somehow worked themselves into a spot where every game on the schedule is winnable. And with that being the case, how do we fare against Pittsburgh this upcoming week? Well, the one thing I'll say is this. Pittsburgh is going to compete. It's a Mike Tomlin coach team. They're going to be competitive, and it's going to take It's going to be a 4-quarter game in this matchup. Two guys that kind of remind me of each other in Steve Wilks and Mike Tomlin, not just because of the obvious one, But here's the thing: Pittsburgh and what they haven't done well is what actually works into our favor. If you look at the last 3 games for Pittsburgh, and specifically last week against Baltimore, the Ravens ran for 215 yards against that defense, with guys like Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins, and Kenyon Drake. I think we have a comparable skill set in our backfield with Deontay Foreman, Chuba Hubbard, and Raheem Blackshear. 3 guys that last week had huge days and played a huge part in us being able to control the ball and keep it out of harm's way. Sam Darnold plays a big part into this as well. Because while last week he didn't have to make any of the big throws, he had a couple throws here and there. The touchdown pass and shot, which was just there by sheer design, and kind of the one pass that was kind of lucky that he got to Terrace Marshall. He didn't have to do a whole lot in the passing game last week, and everything that they did was controlled. McAdoo's been really adamant by giving Sam Darnold a controlled environment with the offense and not giving him any real options to put the ball in harm's way and give them a chance to turn the ball over. So that's been what we've done. We played to our strength, which has been our offensive line, which has been one of the better offensive lines, especially run blocking in the league. I would dare to say this is a top 10 unit in the league right now that we have pass blocking and run blocking. They're giving our guys chances. Now, with the game starting to slow down for a guy like Chuba Hubbard, who played a very big role in our win last week. If you go back and look at some of the crucial downs where we were able to keep the drive alive or stay ahead of the chains, Chuba Hubbard made big plays. Raheem Blackshear, another one of those young running backs, came through and had big instances where if he doesn't make a certain play, maybe we don't win that game. So I think our ability to run the ball is going to be our bell cow, and we're going to stick to our game plan this week. I don't think you're not going to see this team change up very much, especially with being so young at wide receiver. Having guys like a Terrace Marshall being your starter, Chenault being a guy that's getting a lot of reps, and Shi Smith being a guy that's getting a lot of reps. All guys that haven't been in the league for more than 2 seasons. Terrace Marshall and Shi playing their 2nd season, if I'm not mistaken. Chenault playing this is maybe Chenault's 3rd season. So these are all very young guys in this aspect, playing big time minutes in crucial and critical football games. Our passing game isn't well suited to get into a game where we have to throw the ball 30 to 40 times. And that's not what we want to do. This is going to be a tight physical ball game. So, on the flip side, defensively, what do you have to do? For a team that has guys like Deontay Johnson and George Pickens, I'm looking at my best guys. I think we have the secondary to match up well with Pittsburgh. While I understand Deontay Johnson can be a critical game changer, George Pickens is a guy that he's had spectacular catches this year, but I think we have the matchups for each. I think J.C. Horn or George Pickens. I think we win that matchup. Now, whoever you so choose to put against Deontay Johnson, which I'll probably have to lean towards saying C.J. Henderson would have to be that guy. Can he have a good enough day? He had a great day against Tyler Lockett last week. And I feel like that went under the radar by a lot of people in the national media and even from our own people that report on this team. C.J. Henderson had a good week against Tyler Lockett last week, who I think is a very tough matchup for almost any defense that you see in this league. He played with a lot of instinct, played with a lot of tenacity last week. The interception that he caught, but not only the interception, there's several of plays where you see C.J. Henderson is breaking on the ball. He's playing with a sixth sense of, I know it's coming. I got to beat the guy to the spot. And that type of confidence that we're seeing from the young secondary, without a Dante Jackson back there, right? Without that veteran, really core veteran leadership in that position group, they're playing well. The hope is to get guys back healthy like Xavier Woods, so you don't have to have guys like Carey out there. No knock on him. He played well. He played his role. But you want to have your best guys out there as you come down the stretch of the season. Now, and again, in that run game, they use guys like, they are a team that I'm not really fearful of their ground game. Even though their type of running style is a style that, for Carolina, we've struggled against this style before. It's a ground and pound type of style, but there's not a level of explosiveness that scares me like we saw against Cleveland, like we saw against Cincinnati with Joe Mixon. I don't see the type of, that style of back doesn't exist there. Najee Harris is a big bruiser type of back, and while he is athletic, he isn't a guy that's very explosive off first touch. That he's a grinder, and that game may grind out, and he may end up with 25 to 28 carries. And if that's the case, how does your defense respond? Now, the biggest thing here is I think we have the matchups everywhere to win this football game. And I'm nervous about the national attention that's coming towards this team. But if I had to tell you right now, I think the Panthers win this game. And I think it's another display of, I think it's going to be a defensive display. I don't see 30 points scored like we did against Seattle last week. I see about a 16-10 ball game. Give me the Carolina Panthers for the win at home, baby. Let's get it. Now, video's not over yet. We got to still talk about a little bit more here. This is the part 2 of the video, right? And I didn't record last week. If you can hear it, I've been a little, under the weather. So I didn't get a chance to talk to you guys last week. But I'm glad I did, because we got a big victory. And a lot of things are looking a lot different than the last time we talked. Last time we talked, we had, I did the Matt Rule video, of course, talking about all of those things, but we won't get into that. If you haven't watched it, please go do so. Run those numbers up, right? Now, we did talk about that Steve Wilks had everything was going to be on him as to whether he got the job or whether he didn't. Last week was a great start. You go on the road last week, get a big win at a place that, I'll be honest, I did not think we were going to win that game. I did not predict us to win that game, and I won't sit here and lie and think that, think that we had a shot. I know we had a shot just by the mere fact of the talent, and the talent gap not being that large, and I think we were comparable. But this team, the way this team came out and played, it looks a lot different. Offensively, I still think we have our limitations, and I do worry about us and our chances moving forward if we were to make the playoffs, and hopefully that we do. But I think that, another win, if you get a win this week against Pittsburgh, right, I think that it doesn't sure anything up. I think, unfortunately, the hill that Wilks is going to have to climb is steep because of the situation that he came into and because of what may be out there as far as candidates moving forward. But you can't duplicate. It's hard to duplicate what he's done. I'm not saying that you can't duplicate it, but it's hard to duplicate what he's done and who he's done it with. With a staff that wasn't his. A group of players that he did not handpick. He's made the best out of a situation where he came into a 1-14, not 5-8, 4-4 in his last 8 games, and has a chance to make the playoffs. And if he can get this team to continue to buy in, and the one that I don't worry about is a letdown of coaching. I don't think that'll be the case. If we lose games, and not saying that we won't lose any games, because sometimes you can just lose games by the sheer fact that the other team may have came up with a better game plan, and maybe it was just their day, right? But the fact of the matter is that I think this team will always be prepared and always be up to, the call to try to get win. Whether we win or not is neither here nor there. Wilks has done enough to me, but obviously more has to be done. But I am excited about what is coming here down the pipeline these next 4 weeks. Now, to the fans that are worried about draft position, I've said it once, I'll say it again. These things take care of themselves. Enjoy the ride. We don't control anything anyways. I said it a few weeks ago. I said it some weeks ago on the podcast. Now I'll say it. All the discourse we do here is simply discourse. It's simply us just wanting to talk about our favorite team. But none of what we do affects how those guys play. They have a job to do. They have games they want to go win. They have goals they want to reach. All of which have nothing to do with us. And none of it really include getting a top 10 draft pick. And while I would like a top 10 draft pick, I like being competitive in December a lot more. I think we all should just step back, enjoy the show. We got some fun football coming. Now, it's been your boy Sean T. Stewart. It's been Money in the Bank. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram at P1N_network and Panthers Nation with the one where the I'm supposed to be, because you already know what time it is. And